Andrea, thank you so much for this time. I want to say my heart was warmed being able to see Heidi. It's been really great to share passion around campaign finance reform, but also what it's like to be a mother of a young child. So I have a 7-month-old. I have 2 other children as well, but we both have been able to knock on doors with babies in hand, and it's been an exciting time. I want to say a huge thank you at first to everyone on this call who has done text messages and all these other various things. I can't tell you how exciting it was the very first time I knocked on a door and somebody said to me, "Oh, I just read about you." And I was like, "Where did you read about me?" And they said, "Well, I got a text message about you. And then I was talking to someone about you." And it's just, that has happened time and time and time again. It makes such a difference that introduction has already happened, and I receive a warm welcome when I'm on the doors. So thank you, thank you, thank you for all. I know it's not just text messages, many other things that you do, but it really incredibly makes a difference on the ground. So thank you. As Andrea said, I am a pastor with the United Methodist Church. I also am very involved with college students here at VCU and in the Richmond area. Teaching them how to engage with each other. As any of you guys that know that might have college age children, they have a really hard time connecting with each other these days, but also how to engage with their community and how to do it well. And so that's why I have a lot of connections in the city of Richmond. I've partnered with a ton of different nonprofits and boards and community groups. And so that's how I have connection all throughout this brand new district. Just like Heidi and everyone else who's going to talk about, we have a brand new district. So it's very exciting opportunity. So I'm going to really quick give you a couple of reasons why I am running. So one of the biggest reasons I'm running is childcare is a major issue in the state of Virginia. It's an issue all over the United States, but the state of Virginia is 40th in the nation when it comes to accessibility to childcare. That is an issue that is critical for our education system, right? It's the very first hurdle that we have to get over in our education system. I'm going to use my knowledge as a woman who has 3 young children, but also as the chair of my children's daycare, and that got us through COVID. I had someone at a fundraiser say to me the other day, "You know what, Katie, you just need to stand up and say, you got the daycare through COVID, and sit back down, and we all understand what you've been through," right? So I can bring that energy that I did, that I brought community members together and parents together and families together and teachers together, and we got through COVID. We can get through this crisis, this childcare crisis that we have in Virginia. So that's the sort of one reason that I am running, is to bring that perspective. Another reason I'm running is to bring the perspective of poverty alleviation. I have been on the ground. I have walked hand in hand with a woman with a housing voucher in her hand and a toddler on the other side, and going door to door asking if any landlord would take her, and they wouldn't. And, you know, we have legislation that we write all the time, and we think that it's going to do great things. But if we haven't talked to the people that it impacts, if we haven't talked to the nonprofits that are working with those groups, they don't do well. And I can't tell you I know every answer to our housing crisis, our food insecurity crisis, but I know dozens of food pantries that I have worked with that feed thousands of people every week. I know people who are dealing with housing insecurity, and people who have gone through housing insecurity on their own. Those are the folks that I'm going to connect with. And so I'm running so that voice can be in the state of Virginia General Assembly. Another reason I'm running, going back to being a woman. When we are talking about women and women's choice, it's essential to understand how a woman's body works, right? It's essential to understand all the complexities. And as a pastor, as Andrea spoke earlier, I have unfortunately, incredible experience with many women who have gone through these issues of fertility and various other things. And I can talk to folks across the aisle and talk to them and explain to them why some of these drastic measures just don't make sense from a whole lot of points of view. And so that's one reason that I'm running, is to bring that perspective. Another reason that I'm running is, for the last decade, I have worked really hard to try to promote more paid family sick leave in Virginia. And we hear over and over and over, well, it can't be done for these small businesses. I am the director of a nonprofit, and I have 3 employees, and they all have full health care. They all have paid family sick leave. When I was currently the head of my kids' daycare board that has 35 employees, they all have paid family sick leave. I am in charge of a committee that has 3,000 Methodist pastors throughout the state of Virginia. I'm on the executive committee that makes sure that they have healthcare and they have paid family sick leave. So I can sit at a table and talk to people from small businesses and say, this can be done. Let's figure out how to do it. There are so many other reasons that I'm running for this office. I'm excited. Campaign finance is a huge part of it. The growth of Richmond is insane, and we have to be smart about how we grow. There's so many different things that I want to do. I will say, if I do get the opportunity to represent Richmond, I will be in the footsteps of a woman who just went to Congress, Jennifer McClellan. She's a great woman, and she has small children who were in my children's daycare. And she brought that perspective. And I think it's really important to keep that perspective going. And last but not least, I'm running because there will be a lot of new faces in the state Senate of Virginia. This redistricting, there is chaos. And you know what? I do really well in chaos. I work with college students, and they're from all over the place, right? I work with people that are doing social work and all kinds of services throughout the state of Virginia or throughout Richmond. I love chaos, and I love to connect with people and new people and see where passion is going and how we can go forward with it. And so I just want to say that I will not take for granted the opportunity to represent my folks. And somebody says sometimes there's an old saying, if you want to get something done, give it to someone who's busy. And every woman that you're going to hear from tonight is a busy woman, right? They have other things that they could be doing, but this is what they are doing. And we will not take for granted the opportunity to serve our folks, and not just to sit back and get a plush committee assignment, but instead to really get the work done. Thank you.
Thank you.